Hello, this is Wendy Kahn, and I will be sharing my Assure model lesson about copyright. So for the first step, analyze learners, I'm going to be talking about a lesson that's designed for 7th grade middle school students. And this class has 11 girls and 10 boys, 3 with IEP accommodations, 4 emergent bilinguals, and 2 in the GT program. In general, students are visual auditory learners who need quickly paced lessons with opportunities to discuss and apply knowledge using a visual medium. Students currently have no or very little knowledge of copyright rules. Students are digital natives and can navigate and utilize various forms of technology used at school. State standards and objectives. The ITSE student standard that associates with this is students should demonstrate an understanding of and respect for the rights and obligations of using and sharing intellectual property. So, lesson objective is 7th grade students will exhibit an understanding of copyright regulations and fair use policy while creating or consuming online materials. All right, for our next step, select strategies and resources. Teacher-centered strategies will be a copyright presentation that I share with the class, the group, and then a scenario discussion where we talk through some different scenarios on whether they violate copyright or not, or the person using the materials has fair use or not. And then we'll do some student-centered strategies. Students will drill and practice using a Quizlet of copyright terms, and then they will be working on creating their own copyright infographic. Technology, they will need their individual Chromebooks and access to multimedia software and the internet. The media used will be print media, audio, text, photo, or clip art, and visuals. Utilize resources. So this will go through the 4 Ps. Preview and prepare the resources. The copyright presentation will need to be pulled up on the smartboard for the entire class to see. Slides will be prepared with scenario discussion questions, and a Quizlet study set will be created for students to complete the drill and practice and the code ready to send out to students when they're ready for that step. Infographic example templates on Canva will be pulled up and ready to show students. Chromebooks will be charged and ready for student use. Quizlet and Canva web tools will be accessible to the students. Prepare the environment. Desks will be arranged to view the presentation. If not desk, tables, whatever seating arrangement will be arranged to view the presentation, participate in the discussion, and then also in a way that students can work in partnerships for the infographic project. The instructor will need a device to present the presentation and to show the various components of the lesson, and a screen for students to view that on. Students will be prepared by having prior experience with the Web 2.0 tools, Quizlet and Canva, and we'll have a quick review of how each student is used in the lesson. Lesson will begin with the objective, a connection to the Internet Research Project for their core class, and the purpose for learning. Students will also receive a copy of the evaluation criteria for the project. Okay, provide the learning experience. Instructor will start with presenting the copyright presentation and do a lecture style presentation for students with the visuals and the teacher leading that lecture. Then we will do the discussion questions. Those will be scenario based, and students will decide whether, yes, this copy violates copyright, or no, it does not, and then have to justify why. There will be a Quizlet study set, and students can select from flashcards, matching terms, or practice quizzes to practice these particular terms. Then the instructor will share the infographic project criteria and rubric with the students, and then students will break into pairs to work, and the instructor will walk around and monitor and assist students as they work. For R, the the learner participation will be viewing the lecture. The scenario discussion will be a think, pair, share, Kagan structure with partners where the discussion question is presented. The students then have a moment to think. They partner up, they share their ideas. So they're going to say yes or no and why. And then students will have time to complete that. And then there will be a randomizer on the classroom screen that will be utilized to select students to share whole groups. So it'll randomly select a name from the students, and then that student will share. And there will be some support in for EB students if they are uncomfortable, if they're a new English language learner and they're not ready to speak yet. We'll have some different structures in place, and then also students with IEPs will receive those accommodations that they have for speaking in the whole group. Quizlet study set. Students will review copyright terms on the Quizlet using their choice of study option. Teacher can review which students are participating in the Quizlet via the teacher dashboard. And then finally, students will work collaboratively with a partner to create an infographic, including visuals and definitions for the terms copyright, consumer, creator, fair use, and the 4 factors used to determine fair use, copyright infringement, and public domain. So at that point, like I said before, the instructor will be walking around and monitoring students, and students will also be assessing one another as a partner to make sure that they're being accountable for contributing and collaborating with that partner. So that will motivate participation in that particular aspect of the lesson. Okay, finally, for evaluate, students will be assessed on their knowledge of copyright regulations and fair use policy by creating an infographic with visuals and definitions for each term. Copyright, creator, consumer, fair use, 4 factors used to determine fair use, public domain, and copyright infringement. Students' infographics will be graded using a rubric, and they will receive feedback about their creation from the instructor. Okay, thanks so much for listening.